We share a vision of cities for all, referring to the equal use and enjoyment of cities and human settlements, seeking to promote inclusivity and ensure that all inhabitants of present and future generations, without discrimination of any kind, are able to inhabit and produce just, safe, healthy, accessible, affordable, resilient, and sustainable cities and human settlements to foster prosperity and quality of life for all. United Nations, the New Urban Agenda. Liveable Cities for a Sustainable Future. A short documentary about waste management in Bangladesh and the 23rd ASEF Summer University, which took place from September to November 2021. Waste management is a global problem. With rapid urbanization and a growing population worldwide, the quantity of urban waste has grown massively. The world is already generating more than 2 billion tons of solid waste. By 2050, it is expected to grow to 3.4 billion tons. If not properly managed, urban waste leads to serious health and environmental impacts. With a population of 166 million people, Bangladesh is the 8th most populous country in the world. Fast urbanization, the transition towards a middle-income economy, and the rapid changes in lifestyles have accelerated waste generation in the cities. Every day, 25,000 tons of solid waste are generated in the urban areas of Bangladesh. In the city of Dhaka alone, 1.65 million tons of waste is produced annually. Around 55% of this waste remain uncollected. Uncollected waste, particularly plastic, end up in drainage system and water bodies. As a result, water bodies in and around Dhaka have become unsanitary for human use and inhabitable for marine life. One specific waste problem is e-waste. E-waste refers to discarded electronic devices. It is the world's fastest growing trash problem. In Bangladesh, e-waste grows 20% annually and is projected to reach 4.62 million tons by 2035. Only 3% of the e-waste generated annually is recycled. The remaining 97% is mixed with other waste and ends up in landfill. Another area of concern is medical waste. Medical waste refers to the items used to treat patients in healthcare facilities. With the COVID-19 pandemic, nearly 206 tons of medical waste is generated in Dhaka every day. This adds pressure on the already fragile medical waste management system. Without action, the overall amount of solid waste will reach 21.07 million tons per year in Bangladesh by 2025. So, what shall we do? Comprehensive action is needed. We need a shift in our consumption patterns to reduce, reuse, and recycle. We must improve how we manage waste through holistic waste management policies, modern waste management technologies, and collective action. How can the youth be engaged in this process? The 23rd ASEF Summer University on Liveable Cities for a Sustainable Future was an international hackathon for young Asians and Europeans to tackle urban challenges in Bangladesh, India, and Pakistan. Over 80 young professionals and students from 39 Asian and European countries were selected to discuss and develop digital solutions that could drive sustainable development in cities. The hackathon was embedded in a 3-month-long interdisciplinary program that included leadership and design thinking trainings, webinars, and online collaborations for participants. The Hackathon Challenge for Bangladesh focused on creating clean cities, tackling urban waste management in Bangladesh. Organizers and participants share their experiences and reflect on the outcome of the project. How did the ASEF Summer University come about, and what were the objectives? Freya Chaupol, one of ASEF's project coordinators, shares some background on the project.
So the ASEF Summer University is a long-standing program in ASEF's education department. We have always placed a great emphasis on experiential, intercultural, and interdisciplinary learning opportunities that have a strong connection to the local communities and create impact. And every Summer University edition focuses on a different theme that is linked to the Sustainable Development Goals, and that has a specific relevance to the hosting countries. So with the 23rd edition in Bangladesh, India, and Pakistan, we identified sustainable urbanization as a key common concern. Now more than 55% of the world's population live in urban areas today, and Bangladesh, India, and Pakistan have some of the fastest growing cities worldwide. And of course, rapid urbanization brings along various socioeconomic and environmental challenges for policymakers, urban planners, and of course, urban citizens. These are challenges such as urban sprawl, higher urban costs of living, rising inequality and poverty, weak infrastructure, and increased environmental degradation, just to name a few of the problems. And these challenges really call for innovative solutions. And this is exactly what we aim with our Summer University program, to bring together young people to collaborate and innovate for the future. Actually, originally, we planned a cross-country physical project in Hackathon with stopovers in Lahore in Pakistan, Delhi in India, and then Dhaka in Bangladesh. But due to the outbreak of the pandemic, we did have to move all activities online. But nonetheless, I really feel like we've been successful in our goals and have still been able to create a space for young people to create meaningful impact in their societies.
The 23rd ASEF Summer University was a collaboration of 7 organizations across Asia and Europe, universities, research institutions, NGOs, and think tanks. Mr. Syed Raihanul Islam is Senior Assistant Director at the Department of International Affairs at Daffodil International University. He explains why his university joined the partnership consortia and what is the relevance of integrating non-formal education projects in a higher education context.
As a Daffodil International University, we had a few hackathon experience before, mostly on campus, that we organized different hackathon programs. And then during the COVID-19, we also organized the COVID hackathon, hackathon based on the COVID problem. So we call it a Coronathon that we organized before. And also we work for NASA Space Challenges and others. And this program, particularly the ASEF Summer University, is really different than others, because we are not only working for the solutions, but also we wanted to make it more sustainable and connecting it to the digitalization practice. And that is how not only we are addressing to the youth, young people, we bring some policymakers from the local government. We also bring some stakeholders from the private level to show how they are actually addressing the issue, how they are actually bringing some solutions from the waste management areas. We also had some academicians in the program. So it's like a 360 degree, we can say, like we had people from many different perspectives and we connect them into one platform. As we have the Department of Environmental Science and Disaster Management, we have the Department of Civil Engineering, we have the Department of Architecture. So these departments' responsibility is also to build a better livable cities, of course, like the city that we are living in, Dhaka. So we thought that if we engage this program, if our students, the youths from Bangladesh, they engage this program, they actually will learn more. They can be a good practitioner, they can be an ambassador to bring better solution for the city, as well as our university is very much focused on the ICT and education. So this program is also bringing the digital solutions mostly, and our university is also one of the top ranked private universities in Bangladesh. We have the largest green campus in Bangladesh, so we always move ahead for the green movement. I will say that green campus movement, and we thought that through this program we can be a leading position in Bangladesh in coming days, and we can connect more stakeholders from Bangladesh to bring the solutions to the community, to connect with the communities.
Projects like the ASEF Summer University not only foster multi-stakeholder partnerships and local community engagement to contribute to the achievement of the SDGs. Ms. Julia Berger, who is resident representative at the Jakarta office of the Hans Seidel Foundation, emphasizes its role to strengthen civic engagement and democratic participation.
Actually, the ASEF Summer University is quite a brilliant project because on the one hand, it's focusing on young people and on participation of young people. And I think that's a focus which we often still do not take enough into consideration in our projects. Young people often have very innovative ideas and solutions to existing problems and very unique perspectives which, let's say, decision makers do not necessarily have. So one of core value of democracy is participation, and active democracy requires participation and Democrats. So that is why, by definition, this would be a project which is like very close to our heart, if I may say so.
The Summer University program is stretched over 3 months and culminated in a 10-day-long virtual hackathon. 12 teams competed in 3 categories and developed digital solutions to urban challenges. Kaushik Sarkar, Assistant Professor and Associate Head at the Department of Software Engineering at Daffodil International University, supported the project as a technical hackathon coordinator. He worked hand in hand with 4 teams that focused on the hackathon challenge for Bangladesh and waste management.
To make a sustainable city, living city, you must meet certain criteria. And there, I learned this technology-based solution is very much required. Why? Because if you consider Bangladesh's perspective now, we are digitalizing almost everything. It has not yet been finalized yet, fulfilled yet, but we are doing it since like 10 years, last 10 years. So everything is being digitalized, but some items are still kept, keeping us a step backward. One of the things is the waste management system. It is being done not the very smartest way. Still, even though you live in a very modern area in the Dhaka city, you will find the same old system of collection of garbage and waste. So this stack-based solution, this IT-based, tech-based solution is actually giving us a new horizon, because we are very good in developing softwares. The Bangladeshi students, they are very good at IT, the computer science and the software engineering. Even when I was in the software engineering department, I saw these students who were going to market and they are getting very good jobs. They are doing work of the overseas employer. So they are developing solutions for other countries, but why not develop the solution for them, their own, right? So nobody's taking the initiative since this hackathon. They took the initiative to solve our own problem.
Prior to the 10-day-long virtual hackathon, participants joined an intensive knowledge-building phase with webinars and collaborative tasks on these sustainable development goals and the respective country challenges. Mr. Khadem Yusuf, Managing Director and CEO, Bangladesh Petrochemical Company Limited, joined the program as a speaker and outlines some of the key challenges in waste management that the participants had to tackle.
In Bangladesh, the main problem is the collection system is not very mature. So in Dhaka or in Chittagong, there is some collection and the municipal corporation has landfill. But other than these 2-3 cities, there is no landfill or a municipal collection system exists. In Dhaka, municipality collects about 40 to 45% of Dhaka waste. And they take it to the 2 landfill. One is in the north, which is Amin Bazar, which is controlled by Dhaka North City Corporation. And there is one in Matwail, which is controlled by Dhaka South City Corporation. And both of them are completely filled up. In Bangladesh, there is 2 kinds of waste, plastic waste. One is a high value waste, one is low or no value. The high value waste, such as PET bottles, HDPE bottles, these are extremely high value. So you don't find them that much sitting on the environment. People pretty much keep them separately, or even the waste pickers, the collectors, they actually know the value of these bottles. So they keep them separate, and there is a very well-established informal chain for that. So pretty much I would say 70% plus PET HDPE bottle are being recycled. Somebody say as high as 80%. So problem is in the low value or no value. What are those? It's basically LDPE based product such as polythene bag. So Bangladesh has polythene bag everywhere, and it is just used everywhere. And if you buy anything, it comes in a polythene bag. So, and unfortunately or fortunately, Bangladesh banned polythene bag in 2001. And since then, the polythene bag usage has exploded. Some data showed that currently in last 1 decade, Bangladesh polythene bag consumption has increased by 35 times. And so the ban actually didn't help anything, it just exploded everywhere. So this polythene bag is not very easy to recycle because they're very thin, multicolored. A lot of cases they are torn, very soiled. So not much recycling is happening on that. And the second problem has showed up is the multi-layer, that you have the chips packet, which has 3 to 13 layer. Primary layer is LDPE. Then you have multiple layer, you have chemical in there. And then finally a layer of aluminum at the end. So these are also everywhere in Bangladesh and not been recycled. And these quantities kept increasing in Bangladesh. All food packaging is now coming into it. Shampoo, soap, those are also coming into it. So this explosion happened and the recycling rate is 0%. So if you go to any landfill, you will see this polythene bag and this multi-layer all over city. And there is some kitchen waste which are being burned, but you cannot just burn this plastic. So these two kind of plastic creating a huge problem in our stream, and the consumption of these two types are increasing every year.
12 hackathon teams, each consisting between 6 to 9 members, collaborated across 39 different countries and 13 time zones. What were other challenges that participants had to overcome during this virtual hackathon? Samia Anwar Rafa, architect, platform of community action and architecture, and one of the hackathon team leaders, shares her experience.
For me, I would say understanding the challenge was a big problem. I am from Dhaka. We are dealing with the problem of waste management in Dhaka. So I know what the problem is and how it looks like. But whenever I'm talking to someone else I have a teammate from Italy, I have a teammate from Spain and Myanmar and Philippines and India and Pakistan. So whenever I'm talking about the problem, I'm showing them pictures, they're reading papers, they're seeing videos. But the real problem, what is out here, is a bit difficult to understand. The dynamics or how the problem works and why it isn't solved yet and why people aren't thinking about it, because in developed countries they already have solutions where drones are flying and taking pictures of the problems and everything, but we don't have that infrastructural support here, and we don't have the, I would say, policies that are addressing these problems already. So whenever I'm trying to convey the extensiveness of this problem or the severity of it, I think if they were here, if they could visit Bangladesh, it would have been great. Like, it would have been easier, but it took some time.
12 mentors, representatives from the academia, NGOs, social entrepreneurs, and policy consultants provided additional guidance to the hackathon teams. Fahimuddin Shubho is the founder and CEO, Garbage Man Limited, and guided one hackathon team throughout the learning and development journey.
As a mentor, when I was involved, it was more of physical, offline, physically there. But because of COVID and everything shifted online. And then what I felt here is there is diversity, like people coming from different backgrounds, different context, as a matter of fact, different region, different timeline. So that's a good thing. And at the same time, it's a bit challenging for certain aspect, but the major part is very good because, coming from different context, you have the experience, know-how, and problem-solving attitude of different timeline. And how, it's good to know different ways of doing things, right? When you're trying to solve a problem, if you know 5 ways that something is tried somewhere and you have the experience of that, someone is bringing that on the table. That's a good thing when you are doing a design thinking or solving a certain aspect of it. So I like that diversity part very much.
At the end of the 3-month-long learning and collaboration journey, the 12 hackathon teams pitched their solution at a closing event. 4 teams competed per country challenge and presented their ideas to a panel of judges, representatives from government, business, and academia in Bangladesh. The winning team for the Bangladesh challenge developed an app for waste management services for events, which is on its way to market implementation. What were some of the key takeaways from the 23rd ASEF Summer University?
What is most important is that we are creating, through this kind of engagement, networks. The world, I think, sometimes I despair that the world is falling apart and going back into their own little geographical boundaries and political thinking. I think what ASEF is doing, where I see students from Cyprus and from India and from Bangladesh and from Pakistan and coming together and addressing a problem that is basically common to all. So creating some platforms where people can understand each other also. And this is this opening up of spaces where they can get to meet each other, talk to each other, get to know each other instead of being held behind by some kind of earlier notions that have been planted in their heads. I think this is, I'm just amazed by the kind of impact that these kinds of global projects can have.
If we start practicing these cross-cultural activities, sharing and learning within this region, I believe that this kind of program will bring new encouragement, new days, new hope among the young generations who are thinking better than past, better than the history, and we can bring a better livable world if we can organize this kind of event in not only these South Asian countries, but also connecting with other countries as well.